Welcome back to the Yo Hockey Show. Now, I'm hoping that you're having an amazing day, and I hope I can make it a little bit better with my rambling. So let's talk about last night's games of the NHL on January 4th. Today, of course, is the 5th, but we're talking about the 4th. So let's talk about them. So last night, the New Jersey Devils played probably the most perfect game that you can probably hope for as a Devils fan and the Devils franchise. This is the game this is kind of how you want a game to go for you. This is like the best situation. And by that, you win the game, but not only did you win, the perfect players scored. And not only did the perfect players score, the amount of goals scored and the amount of goals allowed. This is like the most ideal game for the Devils. So they win the game 5-1 against and in Detroit. They've upped their record to stay number 2 in the division with 24-11-3, and they're second in the Metropolitan. They're 3 points ahead of New York. They would have been 1 behind or ahead. Now they're 3. And they're just trucking along, right? Goals scored by Dougie Hamilton, your number 1 defenseman. That's a good goal. Hischier, your captain, getting a goal. Perfect. McLeod, the young rookies, getting a goal. Perfect. You've got Alexander Holtz, another rookie, getting a goal. His number 3 of the year. McLeod's number 4. I meant to say this. Hamilton 9th. Hischier up to 17. And, of course, the guy who's just a freak of nature, Jack Hughes, pretty boy himself, Jack Hughes with his 22nd. And the Red Wings end off the game with a power play, and they score really late from Lucas Raymond. I hear different pronunciations. Raymond. So the Red Wings right now, they're 7 points from a wild card spot. So they're looking dim. They're still kind of a light at the end of the tunnel. They're at like game 36 for them, I think, or 39, something like that. Whatever. And so there's still plenty of games left. Who knows how it can go? But they're getting pretty far from a playoff spot, and a game like this isn't going to help them out. And the Red Wings is just an interesting situation because this is going to be the boring part of being a Red Wings fan, is that you're in the spot where now you have gathered those young guys together. Now you do have a future team that's going to be great. And they're kind of like a situation with the Devils the last few years, is that now you have these pieces together. Now they just need to start coming together and growing and winning games. So right now they're going to be in that stage where they're going to end up in like 17th place or something. And they're not going to have a good draft pick, but they're not going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be right there in the middle, right outside, and that's going to be a pretty dull time. So unfortunate for the Red Wings, perfect for the Devils. They keep trucking along, putting together this great team, which, wouldn't you know it, I said was going to happen. So there you go. So good win for the New Jersey Devils there. Moving on to the Lightning versus the Minnesota Wild. An interesting matchup here. Two teams that are actually in the similar situation, third in both of their divisions, and almost similar records. So let's talk about it. So the Minnesota Wild win 5-1 in this one. And this is a good win for the Wild. This is a team trying to prove. They had that terrible start to the season, and now they've bounced back to get in to third place here. Who knows if they didn't start so poorly, if they could be even second or first, or where this team is. So this is a pretty good game for them. Once again, kind of the same situation, but probably an even better one for the Wild here, is that at least the Devils, they were playing an average, maybe a little bit above average team in the Red Wings, but the Minnesota Wild, a playoff hopeful team, a contending team, is just beat the back-to-back to 3 years in a row Stanley Cup finalist here. So goals for Eriksson Ek, number 13 of the year. Kaprizov getting 2 goals tonight, 21 and 22nd. Addison, who's trying to win that the Calder, and Sam Steele. So good, perfect guys to be scoring goals for your team as well. You got the rookie, you've got the guy, the thrill, and you've also got Eriksson Ek, one of those secondary guys that you want to be producing. The Tampa Bay Lightning, Braden Point scores on the power play, a nice pass from Hagel, right to the middle. It's Tampa Bay. What are you going to do when they get on the power play? When they get I will say in this game, it never really seemed like it was one of those games where I wouldn't say Tampa was playing bad. They just weren't playing with any intensity. This is one of those games where I've played where you go in thinking that you're going to be the better team. This isn't overthinking and not caring about your team, but this is kind of you just kind of rolling by, not really like skating for that win. You're just kind of just passing the puck. You're not playing bad. You're just not really playing to win. And that's what lost in this game. So they lost this one. Minnesota gets a win here. Now they're 5 points ahead of the secondary spot in the fourth place in the Central. So they're in a pretty tight spot. They're a pretty clean spot is what I'm trying to say right now. The Tampa Bay Lightning are 9 points ahead of Buffalo, who would be a team that can knock them out of that third place spot. So really, they're pretty. Tampa Bay and Minnesota are pretty good in terms of their spot, their position. I mean, Minnesota could be a little bit rocky, especially with a team like the Avalanche getting McKinnon back. They could maybe get knocked out of their spot, but right now they're kind of close. Minnesota just needs to keep getting a little bit more wins, and they should be fine. And then we got our last game of the night, the Dallas Stars versus the Anaheim Ducks. So the Ducks win this one 2-0, which is a shocker. But is it really? Because we all know that time and time again, the number one team plays one of the last teams, and then they lose. So it's not really that surprising. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's not overthinking, but going in over with an what's the right? Well, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Winning 2-0 is the Ducks, who go in. This is the perfect game for them as well. Just perfect games for the winners and not for the losers. This is a game that Dallas needs to win. They need to get those 2 points padded. They're in a race for number one in the conference against the Vegas Golden Knights, and they lose to the Anaheim Ducks, the third to worst team in the entire league by points. And this is just a matchup that your team needs to win to get those padded points. Because when you go up against a team like the Lightning or like Minnesota or the Devils, that's when you really need to fight and try to get those points. A team against the Ducks, you need to just get that win. Don't mess around. Get the wins there, because then you can just pad those in. Because you know the other teams like New Jersey, like Minnesota, are going to have the same problems like you just did against Anaheim, where they go in and they lose to a number 32nd team. So you gotta that's gonna happen, because it happened here and it always happens. Anyways, so the Anaheim Ducks, Adam Henrique getting his 12th of the season. Mason McTavish, once again, the guy trying to make his name for the Calder, gets his 7th of the year. I mean, really, it's really at the same time, I will say Dallas not really in really scary spot. I will say they're not really worried about missing the playoffs or anything, but they are trying to win that conference, trying to get more wins. They're not really need to be scared of losing out of their playoff spot, but this is the type matchup that you want to win in a team like Anaheim, who's trying to regroup, redevelop, rebuild, and getting a win against a team like Dallas is what you want. You want to lose to every team, but when it comes to those top teams, that's when you want to steal a win just to be like, you can still cheer for us, fans. So that is really all I have to say. There are some games tonight, which I won't be able to cover because I don't have the time. And, yeah, so thank you for watching. If you like this video, please pick up your free subscription down below by hitting that red subscribe button. If you like this video, leave a like, not a dislike, and go down below to the comments section and tell me how stupid I am for thinking whatever I said and doing whatever I did, and tell me how stupid I am down below. Until next time, thank you for watching. I've been your crazily dressed host, Owen, Too Sweet. And I hope you're having an amazing day. And ta-ta for now.